Good afternoon. I'm Charlie Bingle Jr., CEO of Remax Allegiance, and today is Friday, April 10th. Welcome to the Allegiance Way Daily Dose. My co-host today is Amy Lassen, an associate broker with Remax Properties in Colorado Springs. Good afternoon, Amy.
Hey there.
Always good to see you. Another week, almost in the books. I don't know if you've noticed, but for me, and we've actually not spoken about this, but I feel like my life has been on fast forward for the last month.
Yeah.
It's like even whether it's a weekday or a weekend day, it flies by. You know, I try to pack up my little off. I am quarantined in Florida,
Okay.
and I have this temporary office set up
Okay.
in my den. This is not a mansion. This is 950 square feet, and which is actually smaller than my place in DC. And I'm telling this story because usually on Friday evenings I pack up the den to kind of de-office, so I don't have to stare at the desk and my papers all weekend, right? And my computer's still here and stuff, but I just feel like I'm like packing up on Friday and setting up on Sunday, and it's like 5 minutes goes by between those activities.
Yeah.
And again, whether it's like weekend or weekday, and it's this coronavirus thing. It's like everything. It's like life is. I always joke with younger people. It's like once you get out of college or whatever, life is already like fast, right? The older you get, the quicker life goes. That's just been my observation. But for this last month, it's just been like fast forward on that old tape recorder. You and I remember tape recorders, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, do you feel the same way, or is it just me?
No, I absolutely do.
I'm just curious.
It cracks me up when I go to my Monday mastermind,
Yeah.
and the agents from my office say, "What did you do this weekend?" And they're just trying to be sweet.
Right.
I'm thinking, I don't remember. It's a freaking blur.
Yep. And you feel like you just met with them like yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So anyway, as an aside, interesting topic today. Where do you want to start?
Well, I want to rewind a tiny bit and catch everybody up. So whether you've been watching every single episode of the Daily Dose or not, I want everyone to know that we have covered a lot of very now topics, and we're going to do a little bit of a re-look at that, and we're going to talk about how are you communicating your service and what resources do we have to help you with that. So if you're new to the Daily Dose, welcome, welcome. Please go back through and watch previous videos. There are a lot of resources. Every single show is 30 minutes. It's a tight 30 minutes to walk you through a lot of the things that you need to do to shift your business right now. And today we're going to talk about getting traction, because Charlie, you and I are both business coaches. We see it all the time. You give advice, you talk about best practices, and not everyone implements it right away.
Right.
And frankly, that's normal. Changing habits is not something that happens on a dime, right?
Agreed.
So we are going to talk about what are the things you could and should be doing and how can we help you get in action.
I like it. So one of the things is educating our clients on our virtual business.
Yes.
And I keep asking, and I know you've been asking your clients the same thing. I keep asking agents, are you still in business? Well, yeah, of course. Do your clients know that? Do your clients know that? Or do they think you're the restaurant that's closed right now? Right?
Yeah.
How have you pivoted or changed your business?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I require this, and this on showings. No kids. We got the masks. We got the gloves. I coordinate with the listing agent to have lights on, doors open. Fantastic. Like, do your people know that you like have pivoted that way? Do they know that you've updated your service to show that you're taking as much precaution as possible?
Right.
Do they know that you're offering virtual open houses for sellers, right? That was one of the daily doses, right? How to do that. You taught everybody how to do that. So I think everybody's made changes, and it's like, and those changes vary, right? Everybody's different in the way that they've made the changes, but it's like, how have we articulated that to our clients? I was talking to a client the other day, and I said, so if I ask you, how's the market, what would you say? Well, it's on hold. I'm like, excuse me, right? I said, you may have made the conscious decision, which we're going to talk about in a minute, to be on hold,
Yeah.
right? You're living with your elderly mother. You're
Mhm.
not really working right now.
Yeah.
You've paused your business. But is that the message that we want clients to hear? Because
Right.
when they hear that, they'll hang up and they'll just call someone else. You know,
Potentially.
you know,
Or be misled.
right, right. So, what have you done to pivot your business? Like if I am moving to your community and I want to see houses, how are you accommodating me? Oh, well, no, I'm working with another agent and he can show homes and, we're doing this and that. And I'm like, well, that's your story.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there are, some of the headlines are dire about real estate.
Yeah.
And yet when we look at the stats, we know, and the last time I looked, honestly, was Monday. I need to look again. 650 units were under contract between Thursday and early Monday morning within 35 miles of the White House. So I didn't compare that to a year ago or a month ago. I don't care. I just know that there are several hundred transactions happening, right? That's the message that we want to get out. Things are not on hold right now. Are they for some people? Yes, but we don't want to make that decision for the client.
Right.
Somebody calling us thinking, oh my gosh, wife got laid off, company closed, mortgage payment too high. We want to downsize and we don't want to wait, right? This is a problem.
Yeah.
We don't want to think that we have to wait or be put on hold. And that's a probably a dramatic example, right? But we do know that people have to buy, people have to sell for all sorts of different reasons.
Right.
And so what do you have to kind of add in, how should we be educating our agents, or how should agents be educating their clients rather on how they've taken their business, quote unquote, virtually, or how they've taken, how they pivoted their business?
Right. Well, I think some listening may be saying, crap, it's not that I didn't communicate all these amazing things I've changed. I actually don't know what you're talking about. So if you are struggling to have your own virtual protocols, then please go back and listen to the things that we have offered. I think that will help you tremendously. But if you're in the second camp, and that is you do have some virtual protocols that you're already following and you haven't communicated those, we really want to encourage you to do that immediately and don't overthink it, right?
Right.
Package it up simply, and we're going to offer some really good, simple suggestions for how you can get the word out. I think it would not be hard to send video texts. They could be 30 seconds long. You could pre-record one that sounds like it's talking to everyone. I don't like the ones that are, hello, consumer, and I'm kidding, but like the one that sounds
hello, enter name here, right?
Yeah. You can say, hey, I wanted to tell you, da-da-da-da-da, and it sounds like I said, hey, Jan. Like it was enthusiastic enough. And then I could go cut, paste, and send that to 100 people. That's just one example of that's not too tech. But sending an email to everyone, posting it on social media, making sure that everyone knows. And I'm asking my coaching clients right now to call every single person they have contact information for and ask them, are you one of the many people who is thinking of buying or selling this year or next year? And just ask.
Script, right?
Because the truth is 6 or 7% of all people are planning to move at any given time. Go find out who they are. We're not going for the hard close. We're not making a move. We're just asking. So be in communication, whatever that was.
Is that the first question out of my mouth when I call someone?
Heavens no.
Just to clarify, we've talked about this before, right? I mean, we want to make it about them. The Ford acronym we always talking about, the phone is lighter, easy phone calls lately, right? I mean, we got out of the holidays, which is like the easiest time to call. And then there was like this little lull of normalcy, and then it's pandemic time. And it's like, hey, how's it going? I mean, people do want to hear from you. And we've talked about that, I think, several times. I've used my mother as an example, who is constantly texting me saying, when are you coming to visit? For those Allegiance agents that are watching and they're confused by this story, I'm not talking about my stepmom, who many of you know. I'm talking about my mom, who lives by herself with her cat, right? And she is type A, has always done things her way, does not like to sit at home and is sick of sitting at home. And she's like, so, when are you coming to visit? When am I going to see you? I'm like, Mom, high risk, you're older. Sorry, I'm not high risk, right? And then you get into that whole thing with your mother, right, about how she is or is not high risk. So anyway, I tell the story because there are a lot of people that want to hear from us.
Yeah.
And we used to complain a little bit about nobody answers the phone, right? Nobody wants to hear from me. Well, they will answer the phone, right? And you don't want to necessarily call the single mom that is homeschooling three little people at 2:00 in the afternoon, right? But there's a lot of people that you can call and that they will answer and that they do want to talk to you. And you say, hey, how's it going? They're going to tell you, how's it going, right? And being able to make a meaningful connection and then asking them your script, Amy, right? And then getting into that stuff. But we are not here to promote the hammer. You and I, neither one of us like those hammer scripts. They're a turnoff. So I don't want anybody that, if this is your first show watching the show, we're not the hammer scripts coaches. That is not our thing. It's always about the person that you're calling.
The easiest script ever is "Hi, how are you?" and shut up.
Right.
And you don't even have to be dramatic about it. Oh, how are you holding up?
Right.
No, you can just say, "Hi, how are you?" That's always the best script.
Right.
The reason I'm suggesting this, are you planning? And you can even text this. It could say, "Hi, Dan, 1-question survey.
Yeah.
Are you planning to buy or sell your house in the next 2 years?" Smiley face. Yes, no.
Right.
Homeschooling mom can answer that.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. If these people don't really know you or you don't have any affinity or rapport, maybe that is too cold. But here's the thing. If you were to survey every single person you have contact information for, you'd have a heck of a vision of where all this is going.
Right. Yeah,
and
I agree.
it starts the conversation about real estate.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but we're a tiny bit off topic because today we're going to talk about, are you communicating your virtual service?
Yep.
Right. What is your virtual service? We've given some tips about that. And I'm hoping, Charlie, you can speak to what are the limits of the service that agents can provide in your 3 major markets?
Yeah, so DC, Maryland, Virginia, offices in all 3 jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
I've had agents tell me on group coaching, it's business as usual for me. Mm-hmm. And when they say that, they don't mean that exactly, right? But they've pivoted, they've made some changes, but they are still listing homes, they are still selling homes. Yeah. So specifically in DC, you may not do open houses in DC. That is prohibited by the mayor, period. The other jurisdictions, all 3 jurisdictions have stay-at-home orders. All 3 jurisdictions have deemed real estate essential. They've gone so far as to name residential real estate because they're following the feds, right? And the feds, I think 2 weeks ago today, they added residential and commercial real estate into that Homeland Security document that everybody tends to refer to, right? Mm-hmm. So what we don't want to do is things with groups. What we don't want to do is things that could become headlines in the press that the governors pay attention to and then feel like realtors are being irresponsible because just as easily as they said we were essential, the 2 governors in Maryland and Virginia and the mayor and the district could deem as non-essential with the stroke of a pen, right? That is their right. They can supersede the federal guidelines. So there's no confusion about that. So the associations have been careful to say, don't do open houses. Even if it's technically legal, it's not a great idea because you could upset people and that upset could get to officials that don't want to hear about this upset. And then suddenly they're saying, you can't work, right? You can't do this or can't do that. So right now, we have a lot of flexibility about what we can and cannot do.
Yes.
I'm just asking because RE/MAX Allegiance, I made the decision that we're going to follow what the government says. Right? Yeah. And then each agent is going to make a decision, a conscious decision, which we will talk about in a minute, about what is best for them and their family. And then based on that, when we have conversations with our buyers and sellers, we're making decisions that are in their best interest, right? So it's be safe, right? Our best interest about, are we working? What's that look like? What are we comfortable with? And then having the conversation with our clients about what are they comfortable with? And then you formulate the plan.
Yeah.
But we're not on lockdown. We're still allowed to work. But, I implore everybody that's watching, whether you're in DC, Maryland, Virginia, are watching, you're not an Allegiance agent and you're watching from another state, because we have a lot of people in the group that are not with us and they're in other jurisdictions, you need to follow your local laws,
Yes.
right? And then use common sense, because the last thing we want is some headline about how, a realtor had, 12 people through the open house at the same time. The neighbor got upset about social distancing and called the cops. We don't need that. It's just not needed right now.
So I want to say something about this, because I had the good fortune to have an early morning coaching call with a client who said to me, Amy, why have we not been doing this all along? And she was talking about something specific.
Okay.
She said, now that we are going above and beyond to provide these virtual looks, and when we, it's not a virtual tour, it's not a slideshow of the still photos. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
So when we're giving this very, very detailed virtual tour, as it were, but that has its own meaning, she said, we are finding, she said, I sent this, and it was my buyer, not my seller. She said, sent the detailed stuff, and the buyer said, oh, I'm so glad you sent me this. No, I don't want to see that house. She said, why have we not been doing this all along? Our poor sellers who scramble to get things show ready. Maybe they're packing up pets and children. She said, I am learning so much about how to do my business better. So those of you listening, I really hope you see the opportunity that is in this situation as well, and not just feel like the powers that be are keeping you down, because seriously, I think we do need to respect the limits of what we can do, and I think there is extraordinary opportunity within it.
Agreed. And it's funny, I've personally always used Matterport. I don't care if it is a 550 square foot, 1-bedroom condo in DC. I've always done Matterport with the floor plan, because looking at houses online, it annoys me when it doesn't have a floor plan. And I don't know what the national stats are, but I can tell you most houses do not have a floor plan. And it's like, you can eliminate stuff if it has a floor plan.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if it was in a Facebook group or I was at a seminar or where I heard this, but this was well over a year ago. There was a guy that basically said, as a listing agent, I do photos and that's it, because I want as many people into the house as I can get. And if I give them the floor plan, if I give them the Matterport, they may make the decision not to visit based on that stuff.
Interesting.
And that was my reaction. Interesting, but that's not the way that I want to do business personally.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not. So, I think we talked about this a week or two ago. A lot of the things that we've been recommending, a lot of the things that we've been doing to, to pivot, are things that many of us have wanted to do for a long time, are things that we've thought we should do, but we're a little cheap, right? It's a good market. I don't need the video. I don't need the Matterport. The sucker's gonna sell anyway.
Yeah.
So, I was talking to a client this morning who's never used Matterport, and she's getting ready to sell this vacant house, and it's basically staged. And I said, please do Matterport with the floor plan, because then it's collateral that you can use on your next appointment where you may be competing against with other people, right? So those of you that may be thinking this is a vacant house, people can see it anyway. No, I don't need this stuff. You need it to build your portfolio, your new marketing portfolio, for when you do get the call that says, hey, we want a list, and oh, by the way, we're going to be talking to 2 other agents.
Yeah.
Right. Then it's like, oh shoot, I can talk about Matterport, but I don't actually have one. Right. Having a video that you've done professionally, having Matterport, having the floor plan, all in your portfolio is much better than talking about what you will do for them. Right. It's easier to show than to just tell, as we've, salespeople tell, consultants show. Right. So if you don't have a good show, use this opportunity to improve it. And I realize, that it may be really hard to get Matterport photographers right now. They're probably busier than they've ever been.
Right.
But, at least get on the list, right? I don't think we're suggesting you go out and buy a $4,000 Matterport camera.
There is another solution, though. I shared and we could share it for everybody. That Ricoh deal. So you can do a 360 tour, and there's an agent in my office who is just an absolute convert. It's a little bit of his religion. 360 tours, and Ricoh is offering a year subscription, unlimited tours, and they're throwing in the camera. And I think the total was $460 for the year. It's cheap. Now you have to have access to the property. You can't, but you wouldn't have to have access to an expert.
Exactly. And that's the Ricoh Theta V or 5, right? That's the name of the camera.
And heck, if Ruslan is listening, she can even take that link and just post it here and everybody can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a phenomenal option. Yeah.
Somebody in the comment was asking what kind of a cat. I don't know what kind of a cat my mother has, but that cat is so crazy. I kid you not. When she takes that cat to the vet, they use the bird of prey gloves to remove the cat from the cat carrier and to treat the cat. I am not exaggerating. And when the exterminator goes to my mother's house, they will not spray in the room that has the cat because the cat freaks out with hissing and also. And this is a house cat. This is not. She does not have a tiger. This is a house cat. But the cat is crazy. So I don't know what kind of cat. Chris Maximus. I will just tell you that the cat is crazy. It's a crazy cat. So anyway. No, so build your marketing portfolio, right? Whether it's the Ricoh Theta V or 5 or whatever it is, or Matterport.
Okay, I want to speak to this, and maybe this is setting the tone for future conversations, future trainings. Please, please, please tune into the things that we give you. These daily dose broadcasts, and then the much longer courses that we offer. Here's the thing: if you do not have a listing standard, please develop one. If that sounds like a pain to you, but you're happy to spend your spare time searching for magic beans and magic bullets, seriously, having a systematized standard for your listing launch will take your career almost anywhere. So please don't underestimate the value of what Charlie's saying.
Yeah, and now's the time, right? I mean, there's a lot of folks that have extra time, right? Spend some time on that. And if you need help with it, hit us up. Right, hit us up. I know you have a listing standard, Amy. I have a listing standard, and our standards are different.
Sure.
We've never even spoken about. I mean, you kind of know what mine is now, but I've never asked you about yours. But we have one.
Yep.
We do have one. So, what is Ricoh? Oh, so Eileen, Ricoh is the name of the camera. RICOH, right? The camera company. So this is a camera with a subscription. It allows you to do the 360-degree photos.
Yep.
Quality not as good as Matterport, but the difference in camera costs and stuff it's like night and day. Chris Kraus, I've used the Ricoh Theta, is it V or 5, for 3D tours, and it's amazingly easy. It even integrates with Zillow. So certainly check that out. And they're running a special now. You got to wonder, is the camera back ordered? Do you know? Is it available?
At this point, I don't know, because when I shared it, it was a little time ago. My friend who has been doing this for a couple of years, he says he gets crazy amounts of engagement for 360 tours, just like nothing he's ever done.
Good. So Jerusalem and Chris both put in, both Chris's. So there's lots of links for you all to click on in the comment section to check out this. And for those of you in the DC Metro region, I know that homevisit.com, they do Matterport because that's who I use. So I don't know how backed up they are or whatever, but anyway, you have lots of choices here. So what's next, Amy?
Well, let's get clear. I want it's funny. I feel like today's Daily Dose is a little bit the way the last month has been for all of us. There's a lot. But the 3 things that we really want to emphasize, and I'm actually going to check my notes to get it in order. Are you educating your clients about your virtual service? What are your business options right now in your marketplace, and do you know what those are? So get clear on that, and then be communicating that. If you're not clear on what your virtual service could entail, please take a little bit of time and backtrack on a few Daily Dose episodes. Figure that out. And then we will share exactly how to do that. But I think the third thing that we wanted to address is, are you making conscious choices? Or are you claiming to be a victim of the tides? Because I think in most cases in life, we make decisions based on limiting beliefs. And I am not even kidding. I wish I could quickly think of examples, like just every little thing. Can I or can I not do this? Right? How about this? How about this? It's rare that there is actually a limit, right? Could I become an astronaut? I'm probably too old. But like, there are most things would be a yes if I'm willing to put in the time, right? So when we talk about are you making a conscious choice to stay home? You have a health compromise family member. You are homeschooling 6 children. Like whatever it is, just say, I choose to do this right now and I'm good with it. Great. A coach will, understand that.
Yep.
But if it's like, well, I have no choice, what does that mean? So run with that, because we talked about what are your conscious choices.
Yeah, and I think that the limiting belief piece, everybody struggles with this.
Mm-hmm.
I had it happen to me earlier this week, and I talked to my coach about it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was around, I'm coaching a super duper top producing team, right? And she was telling me, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I chose you. No. I'm thinking, I was blown away, right? And he's like, we need to have a discussion about the self-talk you're giving yourself, right? And the limiting belief around, can I coach somebody who wants to sell 300 houses a year?
Mm-hmm.
So it happens to the best of us. It happens to all of us, right? And you have to guard. We talked a lot about guarding your mindset, and this is a piece of that, right? And if there is a will, there is a way, so to speak. Even in this market, we know that there are agents that are pressing through this market because they've made the conscious decision to do so, and they've decided to be a lion and not a lamb, and all the other analogies that we've been hearing.
Yes.
If you've made the conscious decision to slow down and be with your sequestered family right now, as Amy said, I'm good with that. Amy's good with that, as long as it's a conscious decision. If you woke up this morning and thought, I want to talk to 10 past clients today, and then you found yourself on the sofa watching Netflix and eating ice cream in your bathrobe, that's the problem, right? That is the problem. And it's also, it's not just business, it's stress eating, subconsciously stress eating.
Sure.
Hitting the fridge first thing in the morning and the scoop of ice cream right before bed, right? Subconsciously almost, and you're thinking like, what am I doing? I should just go to bed, quit eating Reese's Pieces, go to bed. That's me, right? So it's being intentional, and you and I have talked about that ever since we started doing the Between Two Coaches show, right? Being intentional with what we want, and we have kind of a solution for that, right? I mean, it's a weekly guide, if you will, that you went over, I think, on yesterday's show or Wednesday's show.
Right, correct.
So
should I show it really quick?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay, so a couple of things I'll show really quickly that we already have available for you that may work as good visual aids here. Okay, weekly actions checklist. Here we go. So this is just my mock-up version. It's being made much fancier, but 7-day look at the things that you could be doing. And I just want to encourage you, whether you use this electronically or print it and fill it in, to recognize that there are just such easy things that you could do here every day. Add one new friend to Facebook, write a handwritten personal note, post one helpful thing on Facebook, spend an hour adding contacts to your database. That one might be scary, but just do it on Sundays and Wednesdays. I don't care. And then send a kind video text. It's amazing how much benefit this has given me. But I want to back up and show you the other cool thing. So this whole post one helpful thing, this free resources guide is being uploaded to the Allegiance Way as we speak in a really beautifully formatted version.
Good.
There are 5 pages, and it's going to be much nicer. Thank you, Chris. It's not going to be 5 pages. It's going to be organized nicely. They're the most incredible free resources here. Here's what I want to suggest. You go take this, you cut and paste this into Facebook. It makes you look so cool.
Right. Yep.
You're the one who posted the 360-degree farm tour. And then the last thing is, be marketing long-term. This is from a previous iteration of the Daily Dose. What is your marketing strategy during this pandemic? What are the things that you're saying? Do not tell us you don't know what to say. We've given you a ton of ideas. Oh, wait, is it showing when I change the tabs, Charlie?
I'm still on weekly actions checklist. You may have to, stop showing and go back.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. And I'm grateful I thought to ask. Okay, so I'm sorry about that, everybody. Give me one more sec because I do want to show you. Share the screen, pick a different tab. Okay, this time I wanted to show you the free resources. Just quickly. So pages and pages here of really, really incredible things. All right. And this
That's awesome.
This is going to be in a much better format on the allegianceway.com. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is the marketing, because here's the thing. when you're talking about making conscious choices about your business, whether you're trying to get deals under contract right now, and that's working in most of our markets,
Yep.
or you simply want to fill the pipeline, there are things that you can and should be doing. The time you stop marketing your business, and I said this in a previous Daily Dose, the time you stop marketing your business is when you don't want to have it anymore. So please,
That's a good point.
find a way to readjust your marketing channels for good, and we have given you an incredible amount of content. Set aside the time daily, use the grid, check them off, just be staying in touch with your people, and I promise, whether the market is strong where you are now or it's going to come roaring back in a few months, you want to stay in front of your people. So those are examples of the resources we have, and I think, Charlie, you had even more to offer.
Yeah. So we are sending and verbiage for an e-newsletter will be going out in my daily update to the Allegiance Associates today.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on some social media posts that will also go into the Allegiance Way group and page.
Mm-hmm.
We have a page as well for those of you that are not members of, or those of you that have not liked that.
Mm-hmm.
So social media posts that you can then share with your sphere. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible by giving you content that is turnkey to share, like copy and paste, right? So those of you that do not have an electronic newsletter, now's the time. I think that that's a service that our marketing team is going to begin to implement next week. Those of you that do have one and are always searching about what to say, we're just going to give you the words and you can copy and paste it, right? Those of you that are used to sending the newsletter quarterly, something like that, right? Monthly is better, right? Those of you that have been sending it monthly, every other week is better, right? Don't assume that all of your emails are getting read just because they've been sent. The open rate for real estate related emails is 20%. So if you wanted to play the assumption game, it takes for every 5 emails that you send, 1 is going to be opened by that client. Now, some clients are going to open up all of them, and some clients are going to open up not all of them, right? And we know this. But the more you send, the more likely you are to have your message read. So next week on the Daily Dose, Lisa White, an amazing agent, is going to be interviewed by you, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be interviewing marketing extraordinaire Chris Kraus on the show, and we've got other stuff. I've got the NAR General Counsel, NVAR General Counsel will be joining us on Monday to discuss the CARES Act. So I think he's Monday, Lisa White is Tuesday, Chris Kraus is Wednesday. So we've already got a good lineup for you all next week. And if you're not watching this live, all the videos are at theallegianceway.com. Just click on videos. So they're there for you. And if you've missed some, because we new content every day, I realize that it can be hard to keep up with, you can just go back and watch at your leisure.
Yep, absolutely. And I just want to say, for any RE/MAX Allegiance agents who are listening and feeling like, ding, dang, where do I start? Don't forget the incredible resources you have in your staff and your brokers at RE/MAX Allegiance. Look to getting into a mastermind, call the resources that you have, take full advantage of what RE/MAX Allegiance offers you.
I like it. Speaking of mastermind, next Friday, 10 to 11 Eastern at arlingtonroom.com will be another mastermind. So that's a good event. We have Allegiance people and people from around the country that are related, that I coach through Tom Ferry. So always really good to collaborate with people outside of your ecosystem. And there's an opportunity to do that next week. So with that, any parting thoughts, Amy?
Well, I think you can do this. Write down all the things, and this is, if you want to watch a whole video on this, I think that was on Wednesday. Write down all the things you feel like you should be doing and put some time estimates, pick some priorities, and set a timer. You can do this.
I like it. We'll leave it there. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday, Amy.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.